Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Crystal and this is Books Forever After, where I sit on my floor and we talk about everything and all things books. So it has been a few weeks since I last posted an actual video, and it's been probably almost close to 2 weeks since since our read-along live that I hosted with Happily Ever After on my Happily Ever April channel, on my channel here, as part of our Johanna, Lindsey read-along for this entire year. We're reading her Mallory Anderson series. With that said, probably didn't know to elaborate. It's been quite a month already, quite a year. So chronic illness girlies, where you at? So I had an ER visit, and then I had, now I have pink eye and such. So I am a Hashimoto's, lovely chronic illness person for that. So, and I have diabetes. So that's, there's a trifecta also in there as well, but probably a little TMI. But anyway, so that's where I've been. So definitely aware of my just needing to take care of myself, that's for sure. And if you know what Hashimoto's is, then you know. So it's basically just my body wants to attack anything in my body and make me feel sick, and then I actually get sick, and then I get every cough or cold and such known to man. So anyway, anywho, that's where I am. That's where I've been. Glad to be back. So hopefully recovering here soon. So work, everything, kids getting sick as well, but we're getting back into it. So I'm recovering, getting better. I am okay, by the way, emergency room kind of a thing, but thought I had appendicitis and I did not, but I still was not crazy. I had something wrong, but the prognosis or whatever is just wait and see. We don't know really, there's something there, but unless it becomes urgent, then they'll try to do something. So don't you just love that? America. There we go. All right, so I will probably edit most of this out. This is probably a little TMI, but anyway, this is 3 minutes already into this video. It's way too much information, so I apologize if you're still here. Oh goodness. So today I want to talk about my February TBR. I just wanted to get this posted because I know I'm falling behind, and I already have some videos that I've been wanting to post from January, a couple of tags and my best reads for my top 10 for 2022. So I just kind of want to get those out the next following week or so, and then my wrap up for January as well, but we'll get there. So thank you all for your patience. All right, so this month is kind of been known as like fantasy romance month, or FaRoFeb, so it's like a little short. There is an Instagram profile. I can try to see if I can find a link, but it is fantasy romance month basically for the month of February, and it focuses all on I think authors and showcasing fantasy romance. And so my goal this month is to try to read more fantasy romance. It's a shorter month, so it's gonna be a little harder even because usually fantasy has a little bit of their longer length of books, so we will get that. So first, before I start, let me go here. So before I talk about the fantasy books I want to read, I do want to talk about two contemporary romances. I think they're actually dark romances that I was on the waiting list from the library for the longest time on the Libby app for the ebooks, and I finally was available. I'm like, oh, okay, I wanted to read that. I've been waiting for a few months now. So those books are American Queen by Sierra Simone. I understand this is like an Arthur retelling. From what I understand, it's like a love triangle, but it's kind of like a why choose is my understanding. And then it's based upon the president's wife and the vice president, so it sounds kind of intriguing. from my understanding, it's very, very steamy. So probably a very spicy and steamy, taboo, probably book. Typically, I did love, what was it by Sierra Simone that I liked? I can't remember. Did she write Birthday Girl? I can't remember. Either way, I'll look it up. I'm probably wrong, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. That was what I just started reading today as well. And then Priest by Sierra Simone is also one. So I've heard that this is really good. And Will, as Jackie from Jackie First Lady Reads, will probably attest that from what she said when she read it, it's kind of put a lot of things, and she's Catholic, so it put a lot of things in perspective for her and her religion, kind of thing like that. So I feel that would be really interesting. So all right, so the two fantasy books, these are kind of going to be following along on my like TBR challenge as well. But the first one that's kind of outside of that is just a book I didn't get to, is Anastasia by Sophie Lark. This is really focused on, it's not, the romance in here is light from my understanding, and it happens like way more than halfway to the book, as the main character is their childhood growing up as an adult, and they don't reach adulthood until like near the end. So that's from my feedback on that, which is fine, because sometimes it's nice to have more of the fantasy and lore on that. This is her first debut into fantasy, and it's more like a historical fantasy focused as well. She really, from what I hear, it's really focusing on the actual history of the Romanov family, and then also having nods to the, I think it's now owned by Disney, but the Fox movie Anastasia, that was, released probably back in the 90s. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. This one I will probably try my best. It's, because I have a couple other ones because of some read-alongs and challenges I want to get to first, but definitely want to try my best. Definitely, if I don't get it to this month, it's going to be definitely top priority for March. And then as part of my TBR challenge, I sneak peek, I did not get to my TBR challenge for my shelf challenge that I drew on, reading from my physical TBR for my fantasy IKEA shelves. So this is The Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. My understanding, this is like a time travel, I think it's fantasy, but I really don't know the synopsis, so I'm going to go into it kind of blind. It's part of a duology. I'm going to try to set my realistic expectations so that I at least try to get through the first one. So yeah, really, I have been really wanting to pick this up, but just haven't gotten around to it. And then I will go ahead and insert a clip here for a look of my shelf, that I drew from last week. So this is my one shelf here from last month from my TBR jar. I have read The Beautiful by Renee Abdier there. I still had to read the next two in that trilogy. I read from Blood and Ash. I've read the first three in the Shadow and Bone trilogy. And I've read the first two in that Amanda Boucher series, A Promise of Fire. Still have to read the third one. So these are the two duology series as part of the Readalong, starting with Six of Crows duology. Or last month. Alright, so these, as you saw in my clip, these are the books that I want to read from the shelf, and then also is mainly because I saw that there are some booktubers, romance booktubers, that are going to be hosting a read-along for the Six of Crows duology, and that is, I think it's going to be on Oh Hey It's McKay's channel, and it's going to be hosted on the 26th of February, I believe. So I don't know, I can't remember exact time, but anyway, I'm like, I've already read the first three back in 2021 oh, I can't think of the name. Because of the TV show is going to be coming released, and I wanted to read the whole trilogy before that came out. might have been 2020, 21, I can't remember. And then I always intended to go and read through these. I have this, as you saw, the first and the third follow-up sister series, whatever you call it, in the same world. But yeah, I hear this is a lot of the people's favorite, is this duology, so I'm looking forward to that. So it's a kind of like, as you can tell from the Netflix show, but they're like a ragtag group going on a heist, so it has a cool little theme like that. I think Mistborn is probably similar to that. That's what I heard. So that's another book, fantasy series I want to get to. That's done by Brandon Sanderson. So really hoping to get to these two as well. And then as another read along that I will be hosting again as our second installment with Happily Ever April. It will be on her channel on the 28th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Well, I'm telling you guys, the brain fog is real. So that is the second, and the installment is Tender Rebel, and I believe this is Anthony's book in the Mallory Anderson series. So Johanna Lindsey is a vintage OG historical romance author, and Mallory Anderson series is like her most widely known, and there's 12 books in the series. So we are going to be reading a book each month and having a read-along live show on near the end of that month as well. So looking forward to it. Going in blind a little bit on this one. Most of these books by Johanna Lindsey, I read most of them that I can recall, but has been years ago. So when I was reading Gentle Rogue, is it Gentle Rogue? Love Only Once, I did recall as I started reading it, things were starting to click, like, oh yeah, this seems familiar. I do remember reading this. So yeah. And I think A Loving Scoundrel, I do remember reading that one as well. So looking forward to reading this one and getting to chat with April. We had a lot of fun, and I hope you can join if you're able. All right. So the final part of my TBR is to do the TBR challenges. So is my historical romance one. So we had the One Shelf Challenge. And I want to read 50 books of historical romance this year. And I also have a light challenge of ABC challenges where you read the name of the title for the books for the year. So I've been posting that. If you want to keep in track of the ABC challenges, I've been posting that on my Instagram. And I will link that down below. So today we're going to do a little TBR drawing out of my teacup for the historical romances. I did one with, last month I read Sarah McLean. So I read 3 of her books, and I will go over those that I read in my wrap up. So I think I had like 5 or 6 books of her. So I haven't read all of her books yet. They haven't migrated down yet. So I am going to put her back in the drawing. All right, so I will toss this in here. And I did add a Kate Bateman in here since we last did this, is because I received my copy, the first purchase of that one, late in January from when I purchased it in December. And it was, can't remember what it was, but I think it's like a Reckless Game or something like that series. So all right, so draw Eloisa James. Okay, so let's see what I have. Eloisa James, I have a lot. I have a lot. Okay, so I have like 10 unread Eloisa James. I have 4 down here that I have read, and I have read others as well. I just don't have them purchased or physically owned. But yeah, so let's just go through them. Typically what I do for this drawing is I'll look at the synopsis, which ones I want to read. If it's a series that I feel like I need to read from the first one, I'll try to get it from the library like I did with Sarah McLean. And yeah, and try to read these and physically be able to put them in my read pile. And then what I'll do on Instagram when I'm ready to read, part of this challenge, I will kind of give the choice, a couple choices for my followers to decide which one I should read. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and just name these. I don't know exactly any synopsis about these, or I don't know exactly all the series, so if it is or if it's a standalone or not. So I do know this one is a standalone. I know Eloisa James for me is kind of like a hit or miss, depending. And I believe these are kind of falling into that bucket as well. I believe there's another one that I'm missing in the series, but we'll see. So these ones are kind of like fairy tale retellings. So this one is When Beauty Tamed the Beast. I'm probably really interested in that one because I love Beauty and the Beast retelling. So that probably is going to might be one of my top options. Then we have A Kiss at Midnight, Cinderella retelling. That's one of my favorites as well. One of my favorite books out of the Bridgerton one from Julia Quinn. And I'll definitely need to show you guys the step back because it's too gorgeous now too. So this is When Beauty Tamed the Beast step back. Love it. It feeds into that cover. Love the pink and the roses. Is it roses? Looks like it. I don't know. And then A Kiss at Midnight. That's a really good step back. I just love step backs in general, and I hope we keep with the trend because it's just a work of art. And then we have, this is The Ugly Duchess. That step back, and then The Duke Is Mine, which is The Princess and the Pea retelling. So I have that. There's that step back. And then I can't remember if it's from the Wild series or these are standalones. I can't remember, but here we go. This is Say No to the Duke. I believe I read Say Yes to the Duke either last year or the year before. Then I have This Duchess of Mine. I think this was actually my first Instagram post for Stepbacks Saturday. So there you go. There you go, we got that. Wearing a slip. And then I have The Taming of the Duke. Okay, so very purpley. Got that. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then I have Your Wicked Ways. Got that. Like a little meadow pond scene there. Then A Wild Pursuit, which I think is part of the Wild series that she has. Yeah, that. I can't believe all these have step backs. That's a shock. And then Born to Be Wild, which I think it's a more recent one as well. And there's step back. There you go. And that is it. So yeah. So follow me on Instagram if you like to make your dictation there, or you can even comment down below if you like to put which one I think you think I should read. Alright, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.